Don't try to sneak into your room like that. I know what you've got behind your back. Records. More new records.
All right, fellas. Talk about crate digging. Our customer 189 from Texas. We have 35,000 customers now, so he's been buying from us since 1990. Almost 30 years. He's done a real good job of collecting. Mostly classical, TAS list, Michael Fremer's recommended. Just all the good stuff. Here's the first truck. It ended up being over 50,000 records. First truck. Okay, now, okay. This is over the weight limit. We had to stop. We got fined on the way, $525 because we're over the weight limit. The first truck they let go through, the second truck they confiscated, and it's a whole longer story. But this truck had a $500 fine for being about 8,000 pounds overweight.
Hi everybody, this is Nate from Acoustic Sounds Vinyl Vault again, just giving you guys a shot of our back room right now, which contains another, I would say 30-40% of the collection that we recently went and picked up from Texas. And of course, one day this will all be on Acoustic Sounds Vinyl Vault. What's in these boxes is a fairly eclectic collection. Everything from pop to classical. That includes, I saw rap albums in here, I saw punk albums in here, I saw metal, but most importantly, good jazz, good classical, and good pop, including TAS list things, Michael Fremer's picks, all sorts of top 100 lists. There's an entire couple of boxes of London Bluebacks in here in orders, EMI ASD that are in order, Mercury SRs that are in order. We're talking nearly complete sets. I'm pretty anxious to start cleaning and grading this and making it available on the Vinyl Vault. If you are after certain collectibles, please let me know, nate@acousticsounds.com. I'm happy to help you find the rarities that you need for your collection. And they got to be in here somewhere.
Was it just jaw-dropping seeing these in a natural state? Because you loaded this all yourself, with help.
Yeah. Of course, Chad came with us, and then two other employees, Luke and Kenny, and I went down to Texas, and we loaded this out of a house, a single-story house, and there were records everywhere in the house, and it was awesome to see it all on shelves and everything, just permeating the entire house. And it wasn't messy. Everything was organized and well kept. The house was absolutely spotless. You see a collection like this and you think, oh, there must have been, a path to the bathroom and a path to the bedroom. And it wasn't like that at all. This was all very well kept. It helps. It would already have been the most impressive collection that I'd seen, but the way it was kept, the way it was cared for, the way it was organized really helped elevate it.
How many years do you think this guy had been collecting?
Oh, I would say at least 40 years or so. I think he'd been keeping pretty accurate records of his collection in ledgers for the last 20 years. So not only did we see what he had on the walls, but we could actually go into the ledgers and look and see what he paid for it, when he purchased it, where he purchased it. He just kept records of his record collection, and it was very concise and exactly what an audiophile hopes for. Somebody that really cares for their rare records and keeps them in a way that helps preserve them over time, so that it's possible that we can have mint records from 45 and 50 years ago. It takes a special individual to care for them like that, and to find a collection where that's viable is a real rarity. And so we were just excited as could be to see it. I thought maybe it'd be interesting for us to take a look at some of the cooler things that I've pulled out of the boxes. I bet I haven't looked through 20% of this collection, and I'm already finding things like this. This is a Traffic John Barleycorn Mush Die. This is a Pink Island label, one of those, and it's in possibly mint. This is a Geffen Eagles Hell Freezes Over. This is a tough record to find right here. For any of you who have been looking for it, there's a simply vinyl edition, but the Geffen one is preferable. That's really hard to find. Here's a pretty early UK Beatles White album. The unique factor of this is both the glued over flaps on the jacket construction, and then the fact that this jacket opens from the top and has the black inner sleeves. This is a real gem right here that I was a little thrilled to pull out. I've never pulled anything out like this before. This is a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. This is a blue prism edition. So after some research, I found out that this is a second UK printing. The first UK printing would have the entire prism in blue. This one, having the open prism, is still early and hard to find in the States. A couple of sealed things that I just thought were really neat here. Here's a sealed Roger Waters Amused to Death with the original hype sticker on the back still, and this is 4 sharp corners and sealed. And then this is original 91 Sub Pop / Geffen Nirvana Nevermind. There's over 1,000 sealed items in here, including vintage and all the audiophile favorites. A lot of labels represented in here, and also a unique thing about this collector and his collection is that he tended to collect in lists. So as we were going through and emptying his house of his collection, we come across labeled shelves. So for instance, this box here contains Michael Fremer picks. There's a couple boxes of Michael Fremer picks, literally hundreds of albums. He's got stock of the old Michael Fremer picks list. Over here, I've got Stereophile Records to Die For, about 7 boxes of them. I've got the HP list. I've got the TAS list, and right here I've got the Rolling Stones Top 100 Rock LPs. And there's a lot more little collections within this gigantic collection. Those have been real fun for us to go through. In addition to the lists, there is something from every genre for a collector to enjoy. For my classical collectors, you guys should be really happy. I've got EMI ASDs, I've got London Bluebacks, I've got RCA LSC Shaded Dogs, I've got Loritas, any collectible classical that you can think of. Not only do I have, but I have in order. This guy was a really great collector of these classical pieces, and he tended to collect them all. And so I got a lot of grading and washing ahead of my time on the classical side, but the idea to put in just about every ASD or just about every Blueback or just about every Shaded Dog should really get some people excited about the vinyl vault. For my rock and roll guys, we've got a treat for those guys too. We've got everything from Beatles to the mid-90s and pop, early UK pressings of Beatles, lots of mid-70s pressings, rarities. We've got some sealed UK Stones. We've got a bunch of Zeppelin, whether you want German, Spanish, classic records pressings, anything like that. We have a ton of Zeppelin. Other rock and roll things, or pretty much anything you can think of with a real good bent on 50s and 60s rock. Some of that stuff is really hard to find. So to find things like Dwayne Eddy, Chubby Checker, Buddy Holly, those things are really neat for me to see in their original pressings. And of course, we'll be getting that stuff up just as soon as we can. For my jazz guys, there's literally 4,000 to 5,000 vintage jazz pressings, as well as audiophile reissues. And the reissue content of this collection is really high. We've got a lot of MoFis, got a lot of classic records, got a lot of analog productions, of course. Have a lot of reference recordings, a ton of vintage sealed. And so everything vintage sealed from 70s to 90s. I've got original Cheap Tricks at Budokan sealed. I've got original Pearl Jam 10s sealed. Open-wise, we have just about everything that you could hope for an open collection. Again, 50,000 records. We're going to be working really hard to get all of this stuff washed, graded, photographed, and on the web over the next couple of years, in all honesty. If any of you guys see anything that catches your eye in this video, feel free to call or write me to talk about it, ask questions. I'll come out and find it, and we'll get it to you if it's something that your collection needs. My email is Nate, N-A-T-E, at acousticsounds.com. And of course, you can also reach us at vinylvault at acousticsounds.com. Give us a call anytime, 1-800-716-3553. We're looking forward to hearing from you and helping you complete your collection. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next collection.